Ask the Mayor, your chance to ask the Mayor of Weymouth, Bob Hedlund, questions about the town of Weymouth and or anything else that you have concerns about. Ask the Mayor is pre-recorded. And now, here's Bob Hedlund.
Welcome back to another edition of Ask the Mayor. My name is Jim Melody. I am the Citizen Inquisitor. Bob, I believe that's the moniker you've assigned to me. And we want to start our show, needless to say, by offering Merry Christmas 2017 to everybody out there in the viewing audience. We're thrilled as I sit in the mayor's office, from the manger to the Christmas tree to the poinsettias. It's an excellent celebration and display as it relates to the holiday. Merry Christmas to you, Mayor Hedlund. How are you, sir?
Merry Christmas to you, Jim, and Happy New Year. I think by the time this airs, we might be on the cusp of New Year's. And I'm loath to ever correct you. But it is your correct title. After 2 years, you should know this by now.
It evolves. It evolves.
It is. That's true, too. That is true. You are the Inquisitor/Citizen Advocate.
Citizen Advocate. Thank you. And please, as we wander the streets of Weymouth, Bob and I have both been relaying wonderful anecdotes about us being stopped and the support we've been offered by the citizens of Weymouth. I've never heard anybody say, but thank you for all the information you offer out to the general public, Mayor. And this Christmas season, we thank you for this.
I was at the holiday party, I think they call it, at the senior center, and a woman came up to me and said that she wanted to tell me how much she enjoys the show. She watches it. She says, I love that show on Saturday mornings. I'm not sure she knows if it runs. But she said, that guy that you're on with, that Melody guy, is excellent.
My name is Mary Kelly, and I am watching the star of Ask the Mayor, Jim Melody.
Oh, well, Mary,
she went on about Jim Melody.
A lot of Jim Melody fans out there, Bob. I think my club is developing.
Your club may have diminished after the performance of our guest Inquisitor. He could be giving you a run for your money.
Well, I'm hoping to get a rose tonight after the show, at the end of the show, and then I'm kept aboard at least for another season. But I understand he did a great job, and I think I was all for the guest host concept. I think it's a great idea, and certainly something we should do annually at the very least.
We should get him on as a panel with you sometime. But anyway, why don't we get into the questions, Jim?
Why
you are
not?
the advocate, Jim.
I am the advocate, and we try to keep the show topical, but not so coincidentally with all the stuff that's in the news regarding sexual harassment. Bob, I hate to throw a fastball at you as we start the show, but this was an interesting question that came in from a concerned citizen. And the question starts this way. Dear Mayor, with a lot of CEOs and administrators coming under fire for sexual harassment claims, I'm wondering if your administration has taken any steps to retrain the employees on proper workplace behavior. Are there any mandatory human resources or human resource related courses required by the municipality for town employees? Thank you, concerned citizens. As I said, very topical.
So this is interesting timing of this, in a sense. Aside from a lot of CEOs and administrators, and it isn't just CEOs and administrators, it seems like it's a lot of people in the entertainment industry. It's crazy every day.
It's almost all industries at this point, yeah, it's sweeping.
So today, actually, it's like every day there's someone. Today the news was on another PBS guy. The PBS guys seem to be falling like flies.
Oh, no.
We had Tom Ashbrook, we had Garrison Keillor. Today it was Tavis Smiley. Did you ever watch him?
Oh, no kidding. From Los Angeles, live from Los Angeles.
Can I tell you a little story?
Please. Oh, you know Tavis?
I went to Switzerland with Tavis. Okay?
Now, it'll be hard for you to top. Bob met Paul McCartney one time. That's my favorite celebrity anecdote. So tell us about Tavis, who's got to be number two.
The Paul McCartney thing goes deeper than that, but that's a story for another time. But if we want to do a show devoted to music someday, that'd be great. But no, I went on a young leaders conference I was invited to. And it was 25 young American leaders, 25 Swiss American leaders. Most of the Swiss came out of industry. The Americans were more in the political and entertainment realm, journalism and things. And he was on that trip. And
he's not approximately our age, is he?
What's that?
I always thought he was like maybe 10 years older than us. Is he right around our age?
He might have a year or so on me. He's under 60 now. I mean, but let's just say that after what I observed of him on that trip, today's news did not surprise me.
Oh boy!
I'll leave it at that.
Interesting. And what was today's news? I haven't seen it yet. It's
I don't know. I just saw the headline that he's now been taken off the air for sexual harassment or something.
Boy, stay tuned, as we say in the world of television. I suppose it's definitely been disheartening.
So in answer to the question, I don't know every single policy we have through the HR department, but one thing is happening here that makes this timely is our HR director, Greg Guba, has just retired. And he's someone, when I came in, that, he performed very well, and we're sorry to see him go. And maybe we can throw a little clip. He has something in common with you. He gave the most unique going away thing. We played the guitar in this room.
Oh, no kidding.
As his farewell to staff.
Did he write a little song for the occasion?
No, he played, he played a Scorpion song. Believe it or not, and he nailed it. But anyway, so he left. We are just in the process of finalizing the hiring of a new HR director who I just met last week or earlier this week. And I actually asked a series of these questions because when I came in, I know we did not have a social media policy. We did not have, so there's some things that have been lacking, and we're using this opportunity with the new HR director to address these. So that will be one of the things that she will be actually making sure that we have in place.
So you feel like you got a strong candidate and it's all but locked down as far as her starting?
Yeah, I met her. I didn't do the screening, but the folks involved with the screening were very excited. So,
excellent. Well,
she's coming from the private sector, interestingly enough, too.
Well, and I think in a lot of
she has some public sector experience, but these are things that we want to make sure are in place.
Well, from the category industries to the variety of ways people communicate these days, I'm sure a lot of these policies are being developed.
Those policies may have been violated within the last few minutes on the show, too, by the way. The way Mary applied this microphone to me was very touchy when she did that.
Well, listen, I got to spend a few minutes with Mary prior to this, and I can tell you her decorum was outstanding. She was exemplary. Right. So, but we will keep an eye on that situation as the shows develop. All right, moving forward.
And WETC, by the way, falls outside the town umbrella. They are a private corporation, so
Mary does not report to you.
Our HR policies would not necessarily have to adhere to them because they're outside of the town umbrella.
I think it's really tricky for the companies or organizations, again, as all these media products evolve, the policies are evolving as well, and it's, staying ahead of it all is a fantastic challenge, I think, at this day and age. All right, well, listen, let's get back to something a little bit more festive. Again, we are in the Christmas season here in 2017. So, Mayor, the Holiday Fund, the Mayor's Holiday Fund, has been an annual thing that I know helps out a lot of folks. And Renee writes in and says she just sent a check in for the Holiday Fund, but she doesn't think enough people know where the money goes. How much does it raise each year? And she was wondering as well.
So, you know what we'll do? We'll give an actual accounting. I don't have this year's numbers because obviously they're still coming in at the time of this taping. It's prior to Christmas. And we do see a little bit surge of late, right up close to Christmas. I think maybe people focus on it a little more. And I know at the time of this taping, WETC's probably been only running this for a week, less than a week.
A few weeks.
Oh.
Prior to Christmas, so maybe there's still a chance if folks want to send in a...
So where does the money go? So what happened?
Sorry for interrupting you. Where would somebody send a donation if they wanted to?
You're the citizen inquisitor. You do not have to apologize for interrupting. We'll run the scroll.
Noted.
We'll run the scroll right now where it go, how to send in. But because WETC saturates the airwaves with the Mayor's Christmas special or annual Christmas, whatever we call it.
Well, they do a great job with it. It helps to make the season brighter.
If she keeps the station on after the show, she'll see the endless loop of that. So where does it go? So many years ago, Gloria Burke, who had been I'm sure you remember Gloria Burke, she headed up the Weymouth Youth and Family Service Office. This is prior to our change in form of government of 2000.
Oh, it goes that far back, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
She encountered families in need, and she would go out and do what she could do and try and raise some funds and help out those families that interacted with her office that she knew were in need and couldn't afford toys for their kids or what have you. When the change of form of government came in 2000 under Mayor Madden as our first mayor, he didn't think it was appropriate, or maybe, she had other responsibilities, and I won't use the word demeaning, but, above and beyond her job responsibilities to go out and shake the trees looking for contributions to do that.
Yep.
So he set up a program more formalized, which is what's in place now, and Mayor Kay's kept that tradition in place, and I've kept that tradition in place, where they reach out to some of the business community in town and give them some publicity through the Mayor's Christmas Special. WETC has participated in that by putting that show together. So that's the history there. And it also includes heating assistance for elderly and, assistance for the families in need for toys, things like that. So the accounting, I know last year we had a very good year. Might have been the best yet from what I was told, and we'll come up with a number and how much that means for the Weymouth Youth and Family Service Office for the next show.
Listen, I say sincerely, it warms your heart. You're watching the show. It's a season of giving. It's a season to give back, and just to sit there as a citizen to see the fantastic amount of companies, you don't even realize how many, pretty significant companies are based here in Weymouth.
I actually think, based on what staff has told me, they did remark one day that they thought this year was running ahead of last year.
Wow.
So maybe that's indicative of the economy or awareness or what have you. So
great show, great fun, great entertainment that gets inserted in with all the giving, and it looks like you're having a good time when they bring in those checks as well.
I'll be honest with you. Last year, this is a drag.
Your first year doing it?
No. Yeah. But as we got rolling, and this year it was more enjoyable maybe because I understand the drill a little bit better.
Okay. Rookie last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we tried to lighten it up a little bit. I know that it evolved under Mayor Kay a little bit. Mayor Madden had everybody come into this office, and maybe it was like that under Mayor Kay. But I like the idea of going out
on location.
And giving them an opportunity to kind of highlight their business. They're the ones footing the bill.
Sure.
And doing it. Maybe there's more staff available. For instance, Brewster had, as you'll see on the program, they had. Oh my goodness, they probably had 30 employees assembled, and I joked that they had the choir assembled.
Fantastic.
Convinced them to sing a song, and they ran it on the show. So
Christmas in Boston?
And some of the folks, some of the folks at the businesses like to see themselves on TV, and it's a neat thing for them too. So,
yeah. By the way, little insertion here is my right. Has a decision been made on the ambulance service provider for the town just yet? I know it's imminent, from what I understand. I've followed in the
press.
By
the time this thing airs, it'll be out there. Yeah, it's not public yet, but we're taping this on a Thursday, and the announcement's on Monday.
There's a formal announcement
but
scheduled.
This will not have aired until after that.
Okay,
happens.
well, something to look forward to. That's what we'd like to offer our viewers here is a little anticipatory moment, and stay tuned as we say here.
I
WETC.
will preface that a little bit and tell you that this was one of the toughest things to go through. We did have a committee that vetted this, and we said from the beginning, and I'm sure we're going to get a question about this in a future show, but real quick, I'll just say that this became, through a strange set of circumstances, kind of like the primary issue when I ran in 2015. It kind of captured the imagination of the press because of the way one of the candidates' forums went. And so it became like a focal point in the campaign. And I just said, look, we've had a non-competitive situation for a decade. Maybe we test the waters. We have other companies out there, and maybe it should be a competitive process. So by committing to that, we had a process in place, and the process led to an overwhelming selection. And it's difficult because we have three entities, I should say, who put proposals in for the town. One is, and this is already public, but obviously one is Brewster, that has a strong presence here by locating their headquarters here. The incumbent, Fallon, who, by all accounts, the people who interact with them like the service they provide, and they've had that ongoing relationship. And they have principals in the company who live in the town.
Peter Rassicott, good man.
And you got Social Hospital with a strong presence here.
Omnipresent.
So you've got three entities with strong ties to the town.
Sure.
So it was a tough, for me, this is going to be a tough thing to have to inform two parties that they weren't successful.
Did they all get a chance to come in and pitch you guys physically, or was it just a written
There was
submission?
a written response to our RFP. We looked at 10 other communities and how the models, and incorporated much of what's in those 10 communities in ours, plus our precedent and how things have gone, and put that out. We received written responses. Braintree, when they did theirs, they got 5 responses. I'm guessing some companies didn't bother because you had those 3 entities here with the strong ties to the town.
Yeah.
So we only got 3 responses. there were a lot of questions that were raised as a result of, and some incomplete answers and answers that led to follow-up questions. So that led to an interview process where a lot of that was addressed. And I will say that the committee, which are comprised of our public safety and public health experts, they reached a unanimous conclusion at the end of the process.
Wow.
So, there's not even a gray area in terms of what their recommendation was to me.
And how long is the length of the term of the contract?
It's a 3-year contract.
It's just 3 years, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez, I do think it would be 5 or 10.
Braintree only did it 2 with a 1-year option. So it's kind of the norm, I guess.
Working up those models. Well, best of luck to all the candidates. Needless to say, I don't know all the brands as well as you do, but I know they're all strong brands and
See, the
great
Citizen
records.
Inquisitor got a question in that wasn't even one that we received.
That's why I'm here, Bob. That's why I'm here. Moving forward, a very frequent inquisitor that joins me with helping ask these questions is Ed Hartnett. We always appreciate your support, Ed. This type's a little smaller, so I'm throwing on my glasses. Hello, Mayor Hedlund, and possible replacement for Jim Melody. Just kidding. Ed touching all the bases here. I've gone by Town Hall and was admiring the memorial wall, which looks spectacular. I think that's another common thought. Congratulations on that, Bob. My concern is the Fall River Bridge. I've noticed on the Weymouth side that there are a lot of street lamps or bridge lamps that are not working. I find that very dangerous. I wonder who you can go to report that the lights are not working. As of this writing, the lights are not working. I would lastly want to wish you and your staff a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holiday. That's again from
So he said on the Quincy side.
As far as the broken lights are concerned, I have noticed on the Weymouth side there are a lot of street lamps or bridge lamps that aren't working.
I noticed...
Because he can write that Ask the Mayor in Quincy, too.
Well, I noticed when Mayor Sheets was in office, he had some... what's that song, Jim?
Scorpions, Ride the Tiger.
Art Barracuda. And he's a musician.
No, I'm an acoustic musician.
So I noticed Mayor Sheets put up some kind of old Victorian lighting stuff on the Quincy side.
Oh, no
And
kidding.
I noticed, Ed,
Cool.
some of those are not working, so I thought you were referencing that. In terms of the Weymouth side, I can tell you that lighting, some improvements to private property is in the works. Fixing the lighting you reference is in the works. I think MassDOT's got the sidewalks done. You're going to see some new improved signage on the Weymouth side. Right now, the entering Weymouth sign's not even there.
The one coming in from the Hingham side is illuminated with Christmas lights. It looks fantastic.
Oh, on Ralph Talbot.
Yeah,
That's done by volunteers who have that Adopt Island.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah,
Great job.
they do an unbelievable job
They
of that
sure do.
island.
It was fun to see.
So that will be addressed, and other improvements at that gateway still in the works as a result of the bridge work. MassDOT is making improvements to Evans Street. And we are, through our community development block grant program, making some improvements to King Cove. And I have some surprise in the offing for the rest of Bridge Street. We have a couple things that we'll announce hopefully by the time this airs, so you'll see that. So we're on that.
Specifically, one of the things I was asked, so if a citizen does see a street light that's out, does it depend on the road that they're on, that who maintains those lights, or is the town basically responsible for all the
Well,
lights?
we're in the process of taking them all over from National Grid. We will be owning our lights. We're paying the hefty sum of $1.
Oh, for the transfer,
Yeah,
huh?
and it's part of the Green Communities Initiative. We've got a grant to do the conversion to LED.
Wow. Oh, so they'll all be LED at some point, huh?
Yeah, in fact, I think we've already announced that whole transition, and we're in the process of completing that.
Fantastic. Well, listen, we want to remind everybody, of course, to keep the letters and questions coming in to askmayorbob@gmail.com. askmayorbob@gmail.com. A lot of great questions. And we're wrapping up the show, Bob. I think we do have time for one more question and another moment of gratitude from one of the viewers. I love watching your show and look forward to seeing each new episode. Of course, with the however. You have mentioned a few times how much you dislike the fact that there are too many used car dealerships and storage facilities in town. But you haven't answered whether you can diminish or eliminate these type of businesses through zoning or other legislative measures. So my question is this possible? So
No, that's a great question. The self-storage stuff is interesting because we do have one company that just came in before the BZAs and expanding.
the old Mass Electric
We actually have
location?
two self-storages that are expanding. The old Mass Electric and the one at the corner of, was it Extra Space, at the corner of Pleasant and
by St.
Washington.
Albert's, yeah.
And they've got, in fact, I think it's behind me. Maybe we'll get a graphic before we leave. But they've gone through the BZA process, and they worked with the town really cooperatively and have offered a lot of benefits. I think it's going to be the only storage facility on the South Shore that has an irrigated landscaping system. They're cleaning up a swale out back, and they've done a lot. And they've even contributed some money for some beautification around town.
Oh, nice.
So, they've been, in this process anyway, a good corporate partner. But yeah, the planning department director really has a thing for storage facilities. And
pro or con?
Oh, he hates them.
Okay.
But you got to work
Mr.
with
Luongo.
them. And the one, this improvement is going good, the one that they're doing. So, and the Gardner one, Castle, is not too bad either. So he worked with us, and he's working with us actually on the rest of his property that hopefully is going to lead to something where we're going to announce an interesting tenant for the town of Weymouth too, which is another surprise in the offing.
Stay tuned.
And the owner of Castle on Washington has been cooperative in that process. So in terms of the used car lots, yeah, I think I mentioned we have like 32 or 35 used car licenses in this town, and the town, let's just say prior to my arrival, the town viewed very liberally our bylaws in terms of what constitutes a used car lot by right, and I totally disagree with it. Bob Luongo disagrees with it, and we've changed that. The zoning that we are doing that is before the council now, and hopefully they'll take some action before the end of February, or into January, February. It doesn't take away any existing rights. Okay, so someone who is zoned where they could have a used car lot can still do that. We don't take away existing rights in the zoning change, but we give more flexibility. And we think, like for instance, a perfect example, Tufanction up on 3A next to the Arbor Inn. That stretch of Route 3A is being rezoned. We firmly believe that there is a higher and better use in the Arbor Inn, and clearly is a higher and better use in the old Cotty Johnson, Tufanction, empty building that's adjacent to the Arbor Inn. And we think that the current zoning is very restrictive, it's not flexible, doesn't provide many options for the landowners, and limits you to things like used car lots, or as our planning department calls the sideways townhouse phenomenon, the STP phenomenon. So these zoning changes are going to be able to, provide, I think, the opportunity for higher and better uses, then used car lots, then sideways townhouses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Is that what that Jackson Square project, is that a good example of a sideways townhouse?
I would say so, sure.
Yeah, something as you drive
and again,
down.
you brought that up,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah, I did.
in a previous show, and that's
Right.
not something that occurred under our watch. That was permitted prior to our arrival here.
Right.
And we down the road, we're going to be looking at village center zoning once this other stuff's off the table, because there's some tremendous opportunity. Look at Jackson Square. I mean, you got, some rundown properties adjacent to the public investment we just made with the field. And
Right.
there's great opportunity there.
Yep.
We're running soccer tournaments down there, and we're hearing from restaurants down there, they're reporting they've had their busiest.
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
Busiest.
Sure.
Some waitresses saying their busiest shift ever.
Excellent.
And some restaurants saying their busiest day ever.
Good stuff.
Down there. So, she makes a valid observation, and we're using, I guess you could say, we're using the carrot approach, because you can't take an existing right away anyway. For a current business. So we have those 35, but we think that this inducement will lead to some higher and better uses for a lot of these properties.
Well, listen, that's a great answer to a very involved question. I know as we look at the production staff here, we're looking to wrap this episode up. So we are ending the Christmas episode here in 2017. Hope everybody had a great year. Hope everybody's having a great Christmas season. A pleasure to work another year with you, Mayor. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Send those letters of support for me so he doesn't replace me for 2018.
Send him some tough questions. Tough questions.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Robert, any final words?
We want to thank everyone for viewing this past year, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Stay tuned for the Wild Wild West.
Good one.
Da, 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 da.
If you have a question, please email the mayor at askmayorbob@gmail.com. That's askmayorbob@gmail.com. Maybe your question will be answered on the next episode of Ask the Mayor.